Hello again. Today's going to be more of a little bit of a sobering episode. So I'm going to give warning now for anyone that might be new here. Um, we're going to be talking about something a little bit more partially controversial in approach. But first, welcome to everyone who's here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in if you're on Facebook. But today, I want to start first. Hey, Marie, I want to start first by saying what I've always said before. We as a country are here right now in this location because of us being quiet all the time. We never spoke up. We never talked. We allowed the left to infiltrate the church, the home, the school, the government. We sat by. We didn't allow for discourse about what was going on in the government. We didn't allow for discourse that was about what was happening in schools. We allowed our churches to be overrun by ideologues who strayed from the Bible. We felt the need to give power to this acceptance nonsense where we tell people what we feel God should do as opposed to what God said he is about. And then we wonder why we are here in this location. So, this episode is a call to action. It's a call to response. It's a call to recognition of where we are and what we have to do. It is a call for us to understand that what we see going on today, we have allowed to happen. And if we want anything to go the correct way, I can't say go back to normal, the correct way, we have to start standing up. Fully standing up. We have become so concerned that we'll lose friends, we'll lose all kinds of things because we say something wrong or we speak up for what the Bible says, what God says, and then we end up in this position where we say nothing because we don't want to offend. Offend. We don't want to offend. So I'm going to be saying some things here today that's going to offend some people. And I can tell you that I don't care. I don't care if you get offended today. I'm going to be talking in 3 different phases, so I'll be going in and out. We have been told for a long time, don't dabble in politics. We don't need to be putting ourselves in that position. Don't talk about it. Hush. Oddly enough, though, politics has now roosted itself in the church and in everything we do. Heck, they have enough power that they can just shut you down. You can no longer, this is how bad it is. You can no longer believe in the power of the healer over something that affects your health and trust the healer. The government will tell you that doesn't matter. You cannot be like that. And we will literally shut church down because the government said to. We will hush. In California, they don't want you to meet and sing. They don't want you to meet and sing because you might be spreading stuff. But they'll allow a party for the officials and they'll allow it for games and sports. And we, as the body, say, okay, no problem. Silent again. We get deplatformed. Don't fight back. God gets ridiculed and mocked on TV. We don't say anything. You have music videos being put in front of kids with people lap dancing on the devil and then make a parody of that video by him lap dancing on Jesus. Say nothing. You have them influencing our children, creating in them a gender dysphoria to where now it's accepted that kids can lap dance on teachers and we say nothing. Every other day on these comedy shows, they make fun of everything spiritual. We say nothing. We have become so adept at shutting up. It's our MO now. That's just what we do. Hush. We don't talk. We don't say nothing. Shut up. Allow, allow, allow. And then complain about where we are now. We apologize. We placate. We make excuses for. And then we infight over the most basic of things. Hey, Katie, Sherry, Jacqueline. I want you to be clear about something. When they started to push a bunch of things towards us believers about how we hate people, we ostracize people, we judge people simply for saying to people what God has said. I want people to be clear. I don't condemn the things taking place in the world. God does. I agree with him. When he tells you the criteria, don't get mad at me. Pick that up with him. He gave the criteria to enter his place, not my place, his place, not your place, his place. He has a right to have any type of entry requirement he requires. So don't take that up with me. We will be called everything and we just sit there. We have become the laughing stock when our captain and commander is the creator of the universe. Gone are the days of people like Jeremiah, John the Baptist, Peter. Everybody wants to be John. the apostle. Everybody wants to be calm. Don't say too much. Stay under the radar. Don't step on toes. Be quiet. Many of us have even gone the Stephen route. Well, I don't really know if that's God there. I don't even know that's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He'll have to really, really show me something for me to do something. We are literally living in a modern Sodom and Gomorrah, and there are so many Lot wives here that it's insane. There'll be many of us turning around, looking at the destruction and saying, I wish I should have turned around. I had a conversation with a friend today, and something hit me while talking with him, that our wish really shouldn't be to bring back America, as it were bringing back America to God. If our aim switches to bring back America to God, less lives will be lost at the end. I think for a long time, I myself had been sidetracked with bringing back the freedoms of America, but not realizing the only reason those freedoms existed was because the people that helped birth America saw that freedom was given by the Creator, not man, the Creator. We have now tried to give freedom via man to see the Creator. We've completely flipped it. I want my freedom from government to be able to worship my God, as opposed to I have freedom to worship my God from my God in spite of the government. I have freedom to raise my children, which are a gift and a chore for me to raise, given to me by the Creator, not for other people who don't know my Creator for them to raise, for me to raise. I was given a charge to do and live a certain way, not by what the world standard is, but what God's standard is. We have taken that standard and given it to man and say, hey, you can tell us what's the right way to live. Hence why you see so many Christians today talking this nonsense about, oh, accept. Forgiveness is everything. Health and wealth. He only wants you to be happy. He wants you to have joy. There is a massive difference. We have completely flipped. It is why you see the world today cannot find a middle ground, cannot find peace, because their peace is wrapped up in men. And man is fickle. Man lies. Case in point, man creating peace. Ready? Here's an example of man creating peace. We want peace in Iraq. So what we're going to do is bomb and kill Saddam Hussein. But in order to make you be okay with it, we'll tell you a lie. And we'll get everyone that's on our side to perpetuate that lie. So now man, the arbiter of peace through war, through non-peace, and we accept that as making peace now. Whereas the original idea of peace was in a person, right? It was in God. That's where peace was. It was man attained. We have to stop with the placating and the cheek turning to the world. We have to stop. It is old. His talking about turning cheek was not about forfeiting our salvation to help other people feel better. That is not turning the cheek. It is not. Stephen called out the people he needed to call out. He did not placate. He told them exactly what they were, a brood of vipers. No cheek turning. John the Baptist hid out in the forestry, and they could hear him all the way in the city. As much as they might have wanted him to hush, there was no stopping him. We have become this nation of, and I'm talking about the Christian side of things, this nation of zombified, oversaturated with trying to help people feel better about themselves type Christian, and forgot that we're supposed to be pointing people to a person. We've become really good at pointing people to people. You see it all the time. Go to that church because of that preacher. Listen to that preacher. Listen to that person. We become really good at that. And it doesn't matter whether the person points you in turn to God, as long as that person has pointed you to another person. But we want things to go the route of getting to God, right? We want this world to turn or burn, while we do nothing at all to aid that. We have become so used to people lying to us. We've become so close, so used to people lying, that it's become now the first thing we do. We don't weigh anything against a word. We don't measure anything. As long as it feels good, take the secular world. We listened for years about this Russia. No evidence. Russia. No evidence. Russia. We have evidence. Overwhelming. Where is it? Well, Russia. No evidence. And we were fine as a society to keep it and take it and listen to it and watch it. Weapons of mass destruction. Media went crazy. Yes, true. Start the war. No such thing. Still watch the same channels that lied to us. Still listen to the same parties that lied to us. Still listen to the presidents that lied to us. When God tells you a truth and it hurts, don't listen to him. A person lies to you, you know about it, you can literally see it, still listen to him. God tells you the truth, it hurts, no more listening. because we have become so used to getting things that we want. We want it, let's take it. We're no longer following anything that man says. I mean, the church as a whole. I'm sure there are multitudes out there that still do it. Yeah. But don't lie to yourself where you think that it's not happening on a big scale. You look at these mega churches, all they do is push man's way of doing something, an alternative. We've given up all our God-given rights on the political side, and now we've started giving up ground on the spiritual side. There's so many that don't even defend the gospel anymore. They don't, because you know why? They can't. They have no idea what it is. They have no idea what it even is to defend. And I told you this was going to be a very unpopular topic today. So I'm not even concerned about numbers of viewers. I'm not even the least. Because I'm done caring about who has a problem with what. Here's why. If I wrap myself so much in the concern about what people think, I will never tell the truth. Because trust me, the truth angers people. The truth upsets them. The truth requires you to change things about yourself. While people might not be nice anymore, Sherry, people were not nice because people were nice. People were nice because people understood whose they were. People today don't know, well, I lie. They do know whose they are. And it's pretty easy to see whose they are. We have become a society that embraces lying that feels good versus embracing truth that hurts. And we got here because the ones of us that knew the truth that hurt decided that doing that, not worth it, hurting too many people. I don't want to beat someone over the head. You probably heard this. Don't beat them over the head with the Bible. Why not? Why not? Please tell me why not. Then you'll hear them say, well, we're speaking the truth in love. Really? That's what you're doing? Speaking the truth in love? Are you sure you're speaking the truth? Or you just love to speak thinking it's love? Because the last time I checked, if I saw people going straight to the gates of hell, my aim is not to tell them, give them a gentle escort there by telling them their sin's not that bad. It is to yank them back by reminding them that they're worthless human beings that fell from grace a long time ago, and we're working our way back, not because of our own good graces, but we are moving towards a God that wants us. But he gave the ultimate price to give us that chance. No, we would much rather lie to them. You're not as bad as. Not as bad as. It does matter what you've done. It does. Because in order for you to understand what the cost was, you have to understand what the debt was. If you don't understand how much was covered, you will not fully appreciate the price that was paid. We have dumbed that down so much that men don't feel the need for God anymore. They're not that bad. They're not bad. You're just misguided. You're hurt. That's why you're doing that. You're hurt. You're hurt. I see why you hate the church. You don't have to go. Give me a break. There are Christians that have died at the hands of tyrannical governments because they refused to shut up about what the truth was. We have become so free to listen to lies and spread lies because the government allows us to. Maybe we need more persecution. But also in our case, we've embraced the persecution, and just kind of went with it. And we've called it not persecution. It's just, well, the government's in charge and we just have to listen. We have to play within the bounds, within the. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. The government told you that, though. The world told you that, though. If you don't accept me the way I am, you're not a Christian. If you don't love me the way I am, you're not a Christian. And we as believers just say, that's true. That's true. I need to accept you the way you are. No, you don't. No, you don't. I do not accept you the way you are. God does not accept me the way I am. God accepts me after I am in his Son. I go to him the way I am. Get the difference. I go to God the way I am. He accepts me through his Son. He does not accept me as I am. He accepts his Son. I am a filthy rag. He does not accept that. I am tainted with sin. He does not accept that. It cannot dwell where he is like that. I come to God through his Son as I am. There's no other way to do that part. But I do not get accepted by God as I am. I get accepted by God through his Son alone. This facade that we've now put up on the church, our outreach is to people who are broken. Yes. Our goal is to tell people of God. Yes. Our goal is not to lie to them and make them believe that their sin is a small deal. It was big enough that somebody had to die for it. A guiltless person had to die for it. That's how big your smallest sin is. This is what I mean by not turning the other cheek anymore. There is a reason why they are promoting masks and stay-at-home edicts. I want you to be clear about this. There's a reason for it. if I can muzzle you and keep you away from the fallen, you can't preach. You can't gather souls. If I shut you up and put you away, you're not going to reach anybody. You can't travel to do any missionary work unless you placate to the God of this world and how he thinks you should go out into it. And we, as believers, take it because you know why? Well, we'll need to travel. Well, we'll need to, and we'll need to. No, no, you don't. Flip that table. Resist. How are you going to preach? How are you going to reach people muzzled? How are you going to reach people when you go against everything that is in the book you're preaching? You don't even know the Bible enough to understand that what they're doing is completely against it. First, you're putting your faith in man to do something that God is fully capable of doing. I've heard this example of this, or I guess it was a joke. I don't know. It's a story of some sort. And this is what they do to promote man being, you know, man stuck on a roof in a flood. Boat passes by, said, no, God will send help. Plane passes by, you need help, no, God will send help. Man ends up dying, goes to heaven. God, I was on the roof of this church. Why didn't you send somebody to save me? I did twice. He didn't take my help. The story in itself sounds so innocent, except until you realize that the man is questioning God directly to his face after getting to heaven. The last few men that encountered God on earth, after trying to speak to him directly, and God show up, they went dead silent. Didn't say a word. There is a reason for that. Then you're going to bring up, oh, but Moses spoke to God. Moses always spoke to God. That's the difference. You don't realize that God and Moses were always communing? Always? Do you think it was some wonderful, like, super, oh my gosh, you really did, when Moses came face to face on the top on the mountain? You think that was some big thing to Moses? Like something unheard of? No. It was a fulfillment for him, I'm sure, because he had been communing with the man all the time. We want to relegate God to this man-made box. And then when things go south, why didn't you, God? Why didn't you, God? Why didn't you, God? You didn't know him. You didn't know him. So it doesn't surprise me that you won't fight. It doesn't surprise me that the church today will kowtow to the world. They don't know him. My sheep know my voice. Not these sheep. They don't know his voice at all. It makes sense that they won't fight. Maybe we need more of a Roman Empire type deal happening to us. Maybe we need to be persecuted to the point of death. to weed out the ones that really mean what they mean. Like honestly, maybe we do need to enter in that tribulation time to solidify what we believe. I am baffled, but I partially understand why. If you've never followed him fully, you would never, ever, 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 ever really want to push what he is saying because it's too heavy. It is a big requirement. You can't, you do not, the government doesn't have any say over the church. None. You try to shut them down, they still met. You, Paul, shut up. No. All right. We're going to put you in jail. Go for it. We're going to kill you. Go for it. You, Paul, shut up. Nope. John, shut up. Nope. We'll put you guys in jail. So we'll sing there too. We'll exile you. So we'll boil you in oil. So we'll hang you upside down and crucify you. So do you think there are many right now that will withstand that? If they went to a mega church right now and said shut down because of COVID or jail time, how many you think would stay open? How many you think would stay open? Or they mandate that you all get the vaccine. How many you think would stay open? How many you think would fight? How many you think would try and make it a God issue that they should take it? How many you think will do that when the mark shows up? How many? Do you think this is not practice? Do you not think this is not practice for that? I keep telling you, this is practice for the mark. If you take this now because of what you fear might happen to you, where is your trust? You're afraid of what man will do to you if you don't do something man says to do? In the church I grew up in, we have a song, The Great Physician. The great physician now is here. The great physician. The man that could make appendages grow, dead come to life. That same God somehow is limited by COVID. You in church, you got to wear a mask because COVID. You're worshiping who again? God. The great physician. Yeah. The one that knows your body inside and out. Mm-hmm. You're going to wear a mask in church. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to meet in some cases because the government tells you can't meet. Mm-hmm. You're going to shut down meeting together because the government says you should be afraid of something that the great physician can fix. Mm-hmm. The man that knows your days and the number of them, he is less scary than the government. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. You want to know why people can't believe the church anymore? They don't. Church don't believe what they believe. The church don't even believe what they push. Many churches today don't even believe what they say. Come to God if you want to be saved, and then they never, never, never put it into practice. Then when you tell people that you trust God more than you trust doctors, that's a problem. When you tell people, I'm not taking the jab because I am not trusting the government. I trust God to fix me if I get it. You're crazy. Anti science. Good. If I'm anti science, I will take that as a compliment. I will take that as a compliment. Somebody put on my post about, I want to read it. I want to read it here. So I said in my, when I put the post up, this is not about cheek turning. This is about being like Peter, John the Baptist, Jeremiah, men of faith who did not shut up in the face of evil. So I got a comment that said, be angry and sin not. And I asked the brother to clarify. He said the Bible gives warrant for us to have righteous indignation. However, that anger must be rooted in God's law and in response to God's law being violated. And in this case, every one of his tenets are being violated. We are being asked to trust man over God. Go out into all the world, preaching and teaching the gospel, admonishing men. The government is shutting that down by telling you you can't travel without our mark. You can't go where God sent you without putting our mark in you. And we say, I'm good with that. You can't meet together at home or in a building without my mark. And we say, okay, you cannot open your doors to homeless people without our mark. And we say, okay, no problem. Last I checked, and they want to also say, oh, you'll have preachers that come and tell you, take the mark. God would have done it. Jesus would do it. The disciples would do it. No. Last I checked, Jesus went to touch lepers, and lepers were not supposed to be touched. By the markers of society and law, you weren't supposed to touch a leper. He went and hung with them and touched them, healed them. If he can heal leprosy, you think COVID's a problem for this man? Do you For those of you that don't really get it, do you realize the low rung that you've now put God at? COVID is above God now for you. If I can clothe the lilies of the ground and the birds of the air, how much will I not take care of you? But fear won. Fear. Fear won. Fear. Shadow banned. If you're only now seeing this live, I have been live for the last 5-6 days. People understand this. If you're not watching, there's a thing they call it, what, the Great Commission now, right? Let's get the exact wording of this thing for you, okay? I want to make sure I get the whole thing. All right. Mark 16. He told them to go into all the world and preach the good news. Anyone who believes and is baptized will be saved. Anyone who refuses to believe will be condemned. Pretty cut and dry. Pretty cut and dry. They will be able to handle snakes in safety, drink anything poisonous, and it won't hurt them, and they'll be able to place their hands on the sick and they will be healed. But we're afraid of COVID on a Sunday morning because government told us to be afraid. Church has lost its mind. Lost its mind. Absolutely lost its mind. You are trying to tell me that you, as a believer, say you believe in the God, the creator of this earth. You believe that. Man makes something that my God has power over, and you still fear man in that aspect more than you fear God? Then you never knew the man. I'm sorry, you never knew him. You never knew him. Not at all. Never knew him. That enabled Lazarus to walk out 3 days dead. 4 days dead. 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 Let me repeat, dead. 2 kids, dead. Get up. Oh, you missing a limb? Boop, back on. You can't walk? Get up. Same God in charge of all of that. You are concerned about COVID and the church. That's your concern. Yet that's what you fear. You fear it so much that you say, if you need me closed, I'll close. If you need me not functioning, I won't function. If you need me not traveling, I won't travel. If you need me not talking, I won't talk. If you need me silent, I'll hush. Eventually, they're going to ask you to deny him, and you're going to be like, okay, no problem. People make the correlation. You wonder how Germany got to where it got to. You want to know how they got there? It was pretty easy. Just look out your window. Look out your window. Just look out the window. I have said this, and I will continue to say this. Thank you, Janice. For people who don't know Janice, she's also a firecracker, so don't let that. She's a firecracker. If you're not willing, just say you're not willing. It's okay. Just say you're not willing. It's okay. It really is. It is okay because that's a choice you can make. But don't claim to fully trust God in that aspect. You don't. If I'm supposed to die from COVID, I die from COVID. But what I will not do is try and contaminate his being, mine, with something that man says I need to live. He gave me air. He gave me everything I need, especially when that thing that they're giving me is in conjunction with not doing what he said, especially when it becomes a replacement for trust. When they start to tell you that you do this, or I think you've seen your line in the sand. I believe you have finally seen your line in the sand. I am not turning any more cheeks to the government. I'm not turning cheeks to anyone at all. If you see me without my mask and you say something, I'll tell you, take it up with my boss. Take it up with my boss. He didn't give me any memo to cover my mouth. You want to see what a cheek turning means? No more of it. When they tell you to stay home on a Sunday because you can't meet, you tell them, oh, yeah, watch me. When they tell you can't travel or speak his name, which is coming, it's coming. They're already starting to deem you evil. Let's see how many of you stand up and say, nope, sorry, that's the line I draw. You better practice that line now. You better practice that line now. You better. I will leave you with this. Okay? Anytime man comes to you and tries to tell you that they have something you need to live, and that directly stops you from admonishing the one person that could solve things in life, do not trust it. It says directly, do not forsake the assembling of yourselves, right? Yet man comes to tell you, forsake the assembling of yourselves because, hey, there's something out there that could kill you. It's, look, fear it. I mean, we made it, but still fear it. Who are you going to go worship anyway? God? What can God do about this? Tell me you haven't seen on the news where they tell you that you're a religious fanatic if you believe that God can cure COVID. They will literally stop people from coming to the hospital room to pray because they don't want COVID to get on you. Even though you're going there to pray for the person, to the God of the universe who can remove COVID, they don't. Man, man, you don't think that's where they're going with everything? Laying on of hands, you can't do that. Why? COVID. You getting this picture yet? Everything that the man tells you to do, they are telling you you cannot do it because of fear. Everything the man listed to do, they are telling you no. You be afraid. Be afraid of this. You could kill people. Be afraid of it. Something simple. Wash each other's feet. Greet each other with a holy kiss. Let's just start with something simple. Communion. worship. Man will tell you, COVID, can't do it. And the church today will say, you're right, can't do it. While worshiping, they say, the God of the universe who can cure and fix anything. Tells you how much faith they got in a man, don't you? It tells you exactly how much faith they have in him. 0. The man that could replace limbs, fix a spine, raise from the dead, cannot handle COVID. I swear, bro. He is too weak to fix COVID. COVID is the big killer. No, Satan is. And he is winning big time. Because we love being silent. Not anymore. I'm challenging you now. Do not protest the masks under your own ideals. Do not protest the vaccine under your own ideals. There is a much bigger reason to protest it and not do it. And that is the universe king, God himself. That's why you don't do it. This is Satan's next big step to win. He's not gonna, we know that, but he might get more people through them big gates. And the church is helping him. The church is helping him. I had plans to show you a whole bunch of videos. But I want to show you this one. Now, remember, the people that we have in charge of us will lie to your face to make sure you are afraid. Then they'll come back later and show those people as heroes and great men. And unless your eyes are open, you won't see. So I want you to listen. Okay? Okay. Here we go. I want you to carefully listen because this is how they do it. This is how they do it. Listen carefully.
This was part of Powell's presentation.
One of the most worrisome things that emerges from the thick intelligence file we have on Iraq's biological weapons is the existence of mobile production facilities used to make biological agents. Let me take you inside that intelligence file and share with you what we know from eyewitness accounts. We have first-hand descriptions of biological weapons factories on wheels and on rails. The trucks and train cars are easily moved and are designed to evade detection by inspectors.
That is all I want you to hear. Because we know now that all of that was a lie in order to create fear and to get the American populace to agree with some ridiculous war. If they are willing to lie to you about something to warrant murder, and you still trust them over God, you are worthless. You do not believe in God, or do you believe God at all? If you believe these people who lie to you all the time in favor of listening to God who's never lied to you, you do not believe in God. God is not your Savior. He is not your master. You do not know him. Then this man dies, and they try to push him off as some saint. He is sitting there telling you he's reading from this briefing of how he's found all this mess, and they had nothing. Created an entire war, a genocidal war to kill people, and made you believe it. They're doing the same thing now. They're lying to you. And you suck it up. You're forfeiting all of your salvation for man. You're spitting on his sacrifice willingly. This man sat there lying, literally lying, with receipts lying. And people believed him. And many died because of it. The same government is now telling you that you should fear COVID. And they put measures to shut you down because of fear. And they are lying to you. And many, many are listening. Broad is the way. Narrow is the path, right? That leads to salvation. Broad is the way that leads to destruction. I am with you. Colin Powell was not a man of honor. I don't care what kind of bag of goods you try to sell me. Keep that bag of goods. I bring all that up to tell you this. And I've been saying many stories over and over like this before. If they are willing to lie to you to warrant the death of someone they don't like, for power they didn't have before but want, and for influence, do not think for a moment that they will not do it to you. And they are doing it to you right now. And you're buying it up hook, line, and sinker. All in exchange for your soul, your eternal soul. Please think. Think. This is more than rebellious behavior against a mask. This is more than rebellious behavior against a vaccine. They are asking you to deny the power of God. And you are willingly saying, he ain't that strong. God ain't all that. COVID, man. COVID, though. Y'all better be afraid of that COVID. That sucker will kill you. Be afraid of him who can kill both body and soul. Don't fear COVID. Fear God. Fear God. Don't let them silence you. Don't let them shut you up. Don't let them tell you what you know about God. Let God tell you about himself and you listen to him. He's the author and perfecter of our faith. He's the beginning. He's the end. He was there and he will be. And there is nothing man can do that can replace him. The only thing fear is going to do is lose you a space. It's not going to affect him. It'll hurt him, but it's not going to make him miss out on anything. He's trying to make sure you don't miss out on something. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Get to know him before it's too late, okay? This is not about whether or not the world comes to an end today or 1,000 years from now. Does not negate your need for him right now. It doesn't. Nor does it negate his power. Man doesn't rule that. He does it. And he has a plan somewhere. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. There's a song. I want it. Now that I thought he just handed it to me. And I wanted to play it now. Now I have to play it because let's see if I can. Some of you may not know this song, but the first time I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's a good one. So I'll end it on this song. Hopefully I won't get a community strike for it or whatever. I need you to listen to this. People to understand something before I go forward. If you're confused by the words, this song, in my opinion, those words apply to his people, not random people that don't know him. Those words are people that know him. Because in order for you to be worthy, you have to be in the one who is. Random walking people that don't know God are not worthy. He makes you worthy. I want people to be clear about that before we go forward. Because you might think it's contradicting what I said before. This is for believers. Okay. You guys need to hear the rest of the song, go listen to it. And remember, in the vein of believers. Fear is a liar. They took our voices away by deleting us and not covering dissenting voices. Without media, honest media, we have no voices. Exactly, God is the way to fix it. But the men in the Old Testament, people way back in the William Tyndale and all those guys found a way to get the word out, didn't they? They found a way without media to get the word out. They paid for it with their life. Are we willing to take the same punishment that those guys did to get the word out? They killed Tyndale, right? Because he was trying to get the word out. He had no regard for his soul. He knew where it was going. He had no regard for life on earth because he knew what he was doing. He knew. And once you know, Zach Williams is the one that does that song, by the way. Z-A-C-H, Zach Williams. We just have to get back to the Tyndale mindset. Have to print it out on paper. If I got to pigeon mail it, walk across it, if I have whatever, you have to do it. Is it worth it? Is what you have to ask yourself first. Is it worth it? The answer is yes. Is it worth getting your channel shut down? Yeah. Is it worth starting a new one? Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, I have to say this last thing. I sincerely hope that those who have fallen for the great lie that's going on right now find their way back to the truth. I pray they do. I really pray you do, because you need to find your way back. If you don't, there's going to be problems. Big problems. We cannot afford to be lackadaisical in this anymore. We can't. Love you guys, and thank you for tuning in today. Really appreciate you guys' support. It means a lot. Especially if I continue down this vein. I'm gonna end up turning up missing on these channels here in a bit if I keep on this vein, because they don't like it. They don't like this stuff. But I'm trying to find other ways to get my word out. So your support is very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. That's the Cash App link flashing on the bottom there, if that's what you do. That's the Venmo link flashing on the bottom there, if that's what you do. And the last bit of the GoFundMe is almost at its final phase. Feel free to share it. Could still use your assistance there. But your prayers are the most coveted. The most coveted. So thank you again for all of you that do send my video content out there. Thank you for your support at all times. Go with God. Thank you very much for being in today. And remember, wisdom calls to you from the street. Find wisdom. Peace.